President Donald Trump stated he might meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un amid heightened tensions over his US's nuclear guns program if the situations were right. If it be appropriate for me to meet with him, I would be honored to do it, Trump said Monday in an Oval Workplace interview with Bloomberg News. If it's beneath the right circumstances, but I'd try this. The U.S. has no diplomatic members of the family with North Korea, and as recently as closing week, Secretary of Country Rex Tillerson said on the United Nations that the U.S. might negotiate with Kim's regime handiest if it made credible steps toward giving up its nuclear guns and ballistic missiles. Most political humans could never say that, Trump stated of his willingness to fulfill with the reclusive Kim. However, I'm telling you, below the right circumstances I would meet with him. We've breaking news. Requested later about Trump's remarks, White Residence Press Secretary Sean Spicer told journalists that certainly conditions are not there right now for a assembly. He said we were given to see their provocative behavior ratcheted down. North Korea has come to be the maximum pressing national security risk and foreign policy trouble facing Trump as his first 100 days in workplace exceeded. Kim's regime has persisted development of its nuclear and intercontinental ballistic missile software in defiance of global condemnation and sanctions. Navy analysts have stated North Korea is on course to develop a nuclear-tipped ballistic missile that might attain the U.S. mainland as quickly as 2020, at some stage in Trump's term in workplace. Kim has never met with a foreign leader given that taking charge after his father's dying in 2011 and hasn't left his remote USA. Over more than too many years, 6 state talks, direct bilateral negotiations, food aid, and unsanctions have all failed to deter the Kim dynasty's quest for a nuclear arsenal. That has left the Trump administration depending more and more on China, North Korea's neighbor and top trading accomplice, to exert stress at the regime. Whilst Trump didn't spell out what conditions would need to be met for him to sit down with Kim, Evans Revere, a former U.S. diplomat in South Korea, stated it's almost impossible to assume North Korea assembly the conditions that might permit this kind of meeting to occur. North Korea withdrew from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty whilst it changed into stuck cheating, violated each one of the denuclearization commitments it made, and now threatens the USA and its allies with nuclear guns, Revere, a senior advisor at the Albright Stonebridge Organization in Washington, said in an email. That's rarely the basis for a presidential meeting with Kim Jong-un. Tensions have escalated considering the fact that Trump vowed in January that he wouldn't permit North Korea expand a nuclear weapon capable of accomplishing the U.S., and North Korea has categorized American military movements in the region as acts of intimidation and blackmail. North Korea has persevered to check missiles this year after wearing out its 4th and 5th nuclear checks in a decade closing year. whilst dispatching an aircraft service institution and a submarine to the area. The Trump administration has emphasized the use of economic sanctions and diplomacy to steer North Korea to curtail its nuclear application. Trump has stated he's endorsed by means of Chinese-language President-elect Jinping's efforts to defuse the scenario. Trump and 11 met ultimate month at the U.S. President's private membership in Florida and have talked numerous times for the reason that then Secretary of State Madeleine Albright become the final pinnacle U.S. professional to satisfy with a North Korean leader. She discussed the use of A's nuclear application with Kim's father, Kim Jong-il, in 2000. At the time, she was the maximum senior authentic to visit the Stalinist country in the 50 years since the Korean battle.